Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Azam bin Muhammad Amdan. My ID number is AA19075. I am from Group 4 and we will present about the Stadium Sultan Mizan Zainal Abidin roof collapse. This is Group 4 members. Table of contents. First, introduction. Second, explain about ethical issues that are responsible for the building failure. Third, describe how a lack of professionalism may lead to this failure. 4. Impact of the tragedy on the environment and related acts. 5. Conclusion. Introduction. Jalan Engku Omar in Terengganu, Malaysia has the multi-use Sultan Mizan Zainal Abidin Stadium. The stadium named after Sultan Mizan Zainal Abidin was built by a South Korean corporation. One half of the stadium roof fell a year before SUKMA's May 2016 stadium opened. The left wing's roof was damaged when the 300-meter roof's iron frame fell. The event drew national attention and labelled the stadium hazardous. Even though no injuries were reported, even though no one was in the stadium at the time, a similar tragedy may damage many people. Hence, the consulting engineer's integrity should be questioned. Ethical issues that are responsible for the building failure are poor management, engineering and design flaws, failure to follow building codes, lack of proper inspections, and honesty issues. Poor management. Poor management includes ignoring safety and risk evaluations. Management must ensure that the structure meets safety standards and can endure adverse weather and structure loads. Poor management may concentrate cost-cutting over stadium safety and quality. Financial constraints allow shortcuts in material quality, construction processes, and quality monitoring. An absence of professional skills and poor management experience may result in the appointment of people who do not possess the essential skills or experience in stadium construction and maintenance. A lack of transparency and communication ethical management necessitates open and honest communication with all key stakeholders. A lack of transparency on safety concerns, construction updates, or maintenance activities may be the result of poor management. If stakeholders are not educated about the potential hazard, they will not have the opportunity to make decisions based on accurate information or to voice concern over the stadium's level of safety. And I will pass to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Syafiqah binti Zulkifli, AA19082. Okay, now I will proceed with the next ethical issue that related to building failure, which is engineering and design flaw. Okay, for the first point is engineering and design flaw can have ethical implication as they can lead to harm to people and property. So some of the ethical issues that can arise from engineering and design flaw include the ethic of safety, like engineers have a responsibility to design safe structure or system. When they fail to do so, they may be putting people at risk. Okay, next point is engineers have a responsibility to be transparent about the risk associated with their design. Okay, if they fail to do so, they may be misleading people about the safety of structure or system. Okay, next point is the ethic of cost cutting with engineer may be tempted to cut corner in order to save money. And next point is the ethic of environmental impact is engineering and design flaw can have a negative impact on the environment. And engineers have a responsibility to design product and system that are accessible to everyone. And for example, a poorly designed bridge could make it difficult for people with disabilities to cross. Okay, next is failure to follow building codes. Okay, first point is failure to follow building code can have a serious ethical implication. And building codes are designed to ensure the safety of people and property. Some of ethical issues that can arise from failure to follow building code include the ethic of safety, like engineers and builders have a responsibility to design and construct buildings that are safe. And next point is engineers and builders who blow the whistle on building code violation may face ethical dilemmas as they may have to choose between their professional responsibilities and their personal safety. And last point is when people are living or working in a building that has been constructed in a way that doesn't comply with building codes, they should be made aware of risks involved. Okay, next is lack of proper inspection. The responsibility for conducting thorough inspection during construction lies with both the engineering team and local authorities. The collapse revealed that the stadium design flaw and construction deficiencies were not adequately identified during inspection. This raised ethical questions about the truthfulness and effectiveness of inspection and the duty to ensure the safety of the public. Inspection play a crucial role in upholding this duty by assessing the compliance of the building with regulations, code, and industry standards. Regular inspections are necessary to identify and rectify potential structure weakness, design flaw, or construction errors. And ethical responsibility and accountability, which the failure to perform proper inspections raise concern about the ethical responsibility and accountability.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Aina Fatia binti Aziz with ID EA19076. I will continue the presentation on ethical issues that are responsible for the building failure. One of the ethical issues in the case of the Sultan Mizan Zainal Abidin Stadium roof collapse is honesty. For example, there were reports of cracks in the roof and the welding that was used to connect the steel beams was defective. However, these warning signs were not reported to the authorities. Next, there may have been a deliberate attempt to conceal defects in the roof. For example, engineers who designed the roof may have known that it was not strong enough to support the weight of the stadium. In order to avoid delay the project and incurring additional costs, so they choose not to report to the authorities.
Poor workmanship, ignoring warning signs, poor project management, weak supervision, and also poor education and training will describe how a lack of professionalism may lead to this failure.
First point of lack of professionalism that leads to collapse of the stadium roof is poor workmanship. The welding that was used to connect the steel beam was defective. This made the beam weaker and more likely to fail under load. Next, the construction workers did not properly install the steel beam, resulted in gap between the beams which allowed the water to seep in and correct the metal. Lastly, the construction worker did not properly secure the roof to the supporting structure, allowing the roof to move under load, which led to collapse. Next, ignoring warning signs by the engineers and contractors that is involved in the project. For example, the roof has already begun to sag before it collapsed. In the case of the Sultan Mizan Zainal Abidin Stadium roof collapse, the ignoring of warning signs led to the death of 2 people and the injury of several others. These are several reasons why engineers and contractors might ignore warning signs, which are under pressure to finish the project on time or on budget, not adequate training to recognize the sign of instability, and lastly, simply be complacent and assume that the roof is safe.
In addition to the absence of quality control and safety measurement, poor project management has been a contributor which has been contributed to this tragedy. SUMA was scheduled to take place at that stadium, requiring them to work aggressively to complete the project within the deadline, while at the same time, they disregarded the quality control and also the safety measures. Similar to the manner in which appropriate utilization of the building supplies for the construction, it needs to be implemented adherence with the standards and codes of practice, which is essential for the maintenance. The adoption and implementation of quality management system and also environmental management system could provide a number of benefits for those professionals. Moving on to weak supervision, those contract workers might be overseen by the site engineer or the clerk of works. Supposedly, site inspection should be done regularly as it provides a lot of benefits to the whole team. One of it is for each scope of work, could be completed accordingly as per schedule. Training and academic achievements constitute two of the main variables which influence the manner in which the engineers perform as professionals in both design and construction. Some of them might lack specialization in site supervision. Majority of the graduating engineers are missing soft skills, which makes it challenging for them to communicate successfully. It gets harder as they need to communicate with those international laborers from Bangladesh, Indonesia, and also Myanmar. They need to be provided with a strong foundation of work approach as to deliver an outstanding workmanship at sites.
My name is Fikri Alam Raja binti Asmi, IDA 19081. I will present my part, which is impact of the tragedy on the environment and related acts. First is the habitat disruption. The collapse of a roof can result in significant changes to the local habitat. It may destroy or damage vegetation, disrupt animal habitats, or alter the natural balance of the ecosystem. The extent of this impact would depend on the size of the collapse and the surrounding environment. Next is waste generation. If the roof contains materials such as concrete, metal, or other construction materials, the collapse could generate a significant amount of waste. This waste would need to be properly managed and disposed of to minimize any potential pollution or harm to the environment. Next impact is soil and water contamination. If the collapsed roof contains hazardous material like asbestos or lead-based paint, there could be a risk of soil and water contamination. If these substances are released into the surrounding environment, they could pose a threat to nearby ecosystems, including plants, animals, and water sources. The last one is air pollution. If the collapsed roof contains materials that can produce dust or particulate matter, the event could result in localized air pollution. This pollution could potentially affect air quality and the respiratory health of nearby communities, especially if the collapse occurs in a densely populated area. There are related acts, which is investigation and accountability. Authorities likely conducted a truth investigation to determine the causes of the collapse. Legal actions might have been taken to hold responsible parties accountable for potential negligence or violations of building regulations. Next is building safety inspection. The incident likely prompted increased scrutiny and more frequent inspection of existing buildings across the country to ensure their structural safety. Building owners and relevant authorities might have been required to conduct regular inspection and maintenance to prevent potential collapse. And the last one is awareness and public education. Stadium Sultan Mizan Zainal Abidin collapse may have been raised awareness among the public, building owners, and professionals in the construction industry regarding the importance of building safety. Public education campaigns and initiatives may have been launched to promote knowledge about building regulations, safety measures, and reporting mechanisms for potential risks.
Conclusion. Because it requires contribution from the numerous stakeholders involved in all elements of the job, from planning and design all the way down to the tedious work on site coupled with site monitoring. The efficiency of excellent engineering design is not easily quantified. This is because all of these aspects of the project are interconnected. Nevertheless, if the difficulties and problems discussed can be taken into account by the appropriate authorities, then the construction industry may have the potential to adopt effective measures to overcome the challenge it faces in ensuring that work is completed to the appropriate quality at all levels. This possibility exists only if the concerns and problems discussed are taken into consideration by relevant authorities. The adage first-class infrastructure with third-class mentality needs to be revised to read first-class infrastructure with top-class mentality, and now is the moment for all relevant parties to take action in order to make this correction. And that's all from us. Thank you.